good people out there in podcast land, and welcome into another edition of the Adam Jones podcast presented by the Baltimore Banner. I'm Jerry Coleman. He's a former five-time All-Star. He is Adam Jones. Today, coming up, an episode, double nickel number 55, AJ.
The Terrell Suggs / Pete Incaviglia episode.
All right. We'll be joined by neither of those two gentlemen, but pitcher DL Hall will be with us. He's been looking forward to talking with us and vice versa for a while, and we finally got some good cell service for him up in the mountains. Adam and I are also going to discuss the Ravens, who did blow a late fourth quarter lead. That seems to be a theme in all three losses this year against Cleveland. But as Bill Belichick said, it's on to Cincinnati, and they have a number of primetime games coming up. Of course, we'll have someone qualify for a Dunkin' gift card during our Socially Speaking segment, where Adam put out a very poignant question. And we'll start with talking to Adam about back from his extended United States tour. It didn't make Baltimore didn't make the itinerary, but your high school reunion did, and you didn't go to high school in Baltimore, so that makes sense.
Yeah, Baltimore was not on the docket this time. I was working the World Series. I know.
Yeah.
I was, right it was. Yeah, no. That's why I didn't go. That's why I didn't elaborate. Against the everybody thought that Philly would be hosting the World Series. Philly, Houston turned out to be Arizona and Texas, and I went out to Houston, and it was a great. Again, we talked about it I went out to Arizona, and we talked about it last week. It wasn't the craziest atmosphere. I would have loved to have seen a wilder one, but no. After that, I went to California. Got to spend some time with my father, my brother, my sister, my niece. When I would get some one-on-one time because I was there by myself. Got to play a lot of golf. Got to play with our producer Chip. Chip's getting better. Chip hits the ball right down the middle. By the way, he don't hit it far, but he hit it down the middle. And then it culminated with hanging out with my friends at our 20-year reunion. And I know some people are bullish and about reunions and things like that. Sometimes maybe they don't like where they're at personally in life or anything. Me, I was like, you know what? I want to go see just the group of people. I graduated with 969 people. That's a lot of folks. That's more than people's school. So to be able just to go back there and see friends and stories and teachers, our old principal, I even forgot this. Our principal got fired like April of our senior year, and we had school protests to have her so she can be at our graduation. Like, these are things that shape me. Like, you see why I'm so militant, because you see things that happen in high school. It started in high school. So, just those memories. And, again, I had a great major league career and all that, and people knew that and recognized that. That's cool. But at the same time, I got two kids. What's your kids doing? My kids play basketball and soccer. What do you like? I want to be personable with everybody. And it was good to see the people that came. Yeah, a lot of people didn't, and, they were missed. But the people that came were very much appreciated. And it was a great time. And, I'm not going to say I'm going to 25, but I'll probably go to 30 because it's just, I think things like that, because a lot of people in my class either have passed away, have been incarcerated, moved away real far. Like, just life takes you in different ways. So for me to go back to, and I'm an inner city kid, so things like that aren't uncommon in inner city. So for me to go back there and see my friends, see the people that, shaped me, guys from junior high to high school, dudes on my basketball team, baseball, football team, guys we, auxiliary in class with, like, all those memories, just things like, damn, I'm still the same kid. That was
all right. I got two follow-ups.
I ain't grew up yet.
I got two follow-ups from what you just said. One is, I think it was a wise choice for the wife or girlfriend always to stay behind, because they seem bored at these things, because they barely.
Unless you went to the school with it. Unless you went to school with him.
Exactly. So that was wise, and you got to be the most famous person from your graduating class.
Oh yeah, very, very much, very easy. Yeah,
I didn't know if there was a superstar in the making.
No, but at the same time, it's like, I don't have that persona. Like, some of my friends say, hey, man, you going to go back to school and stunt. I'm like, what you want to do? Drive up there, Rolls Royce, and just drive diamonds all dripped off? No, I'm going to show up in a pants, some collar shirt, shake hands, give love to everybody. Hey, man, how you been? And the cool part is a couple of my old classmates, we met in Mexico City when I was down there for the Padres and Giants, because they're big Padres fans. And we knew been connected through Facebook and social medias throughout the years. And I was like, yeah, I'm down in Mexico. Let's hang out. We out to dinner, went out to the club, turned up, you know what I'm saying? So Like these. That's why Facebook's important for, I think, for schooling and for, your old friends. But I think that when people miss these kind of things, they miss opportunities just to reconnect. Even if it's not the longest reconnection, or you didn't get along with everybody. I'm definitely sure I didn't get along with everybody in high school, and just to reconnect with people, say what's up, see how they're doing with life, and see how they're looking.
I agree. It's always a fun
Yeah.
time. A lot of these take place during November around Thanksgiving when people are able to make it back to their hometown. So
Yep.
reunite and celebrate.
And it feels so good.
All right, AJ, let's bring in our featured guest. He is brought to us by our loyal sponsor, Jimmy's Famous Seafood, where he's a loyal patron. He's DL Hall. You've been out to Jimmy's, I'm sure, before.
Oh yeah, I usually like to mix it in about once a week when I'm in Baltimore. Probably shouldn't so much, but I love it. Yeah.
Well, appreciate you joining us. It was a terrific season for you and obviously the Orioles, although I know the outcome wasn't what you guys desired. You wanted more, but how would you describe the season, not only for you, but for the team in general? A little bit of both sides.
I think it was just super exciting. Like the main thing that the first thing that comes to my head is exciting. I feel like we got a super exciting team, and it's it's just fun to be a part of.
Now, to follow up that, how far do you think this team can go next year? I mean, expectations were exceeded this year. Expectations are expected next year. So, how far do you think this team in 24 can go?
I think that we can, man. Honestly, I truly think that we can win the whole thing. And I think that we have the team to do it. Like, I think that, obviously this year didn't go how we wanted, and I think that we had the team to do it this year. But, just with having that chip on our shoulder and, of kind of obviously ending way earlier than we expected or wanted to, I feel like that puts that chip on our shoulder, and I feel like it'll drive us even more next year to, try and get the job done.
And I want to know, what do you want your role to be? I mean, you drafted as a starter out of high school, stud. I remember they said, this kid's throwing 95, 96. I'm like, where? Let me get in the box because I like to see that. And, just where do you see your role? I know you want to be a starter. They called you up as in a relief arm with Bautista down, maybe a high leverage reliever. Like, where do you see yourself in 24?
Obviously, like you said, I would like to be a starter. I feel like that's where, I feel like that I can do it. And I feel like that's where I can, help the team the most is, if I can, figure out how to have some true success as a starter. I feel like that's going to be the biggest help for the team, But then again, I've always told them, if wherever I'm needed and, however I can, help this team win and ultimately get to that main goal, like I'll jump into the role and fill it as best I can.
Yeah, I guess it was a case of where they needed you the most, and it seemed like they needed you the most coming out of the bullpen as, you threw 70-plus innings out of the pen, where as a starter, you'd be throwing more than double that. I'm sure you feel you have the capability to do that. Do you think you'll be given that opportunity come spring training?
Yeah, I mean, I think, whichever way they decide to go, I think will, be for the benefit of the team. So, we'll see which, what happens. But, yeah, I'm going to plan on, trying to be a starter.
I had a question. A lot of people I don't think know. How do you train to be a starter versus how do you train to be a reliever? I think every offseason, I'm sure you go in, I want to be a starter, I want to be a starter. And if they make you a reliever, like what's the difference in routines? I was a center fielder. I mean, shortstop center fielder. I only know that, but I don't know the starters and relievers.
For me personally, I feel like it's different for every guy, obviously, but for me personally, I think that it's a little bit more about the, obviously about the stamina and things like that. Just being into, as far as the cardio goes, like really being into shape, still being powerful and explosive, but kind of, being able to, cover those 7 innings, 8 innings to where you're not, absolutely, gassed in the 7th and 8th. So I feel like that's a little bit different, as a reliever. You can train a little bit more just explosive and power, and because you don't have to, you're going out there for an inning and letting it rip. So it's a little bit different. So I'd say, but the biggest thing for me is, like I said, just, having that, that running and that phase of it of just, making sure your cardio is where it needs to be.
Going back to the rotation, though, real quickly, I mean, you look at it on paper, we know that it seems like Bradish and Rodriguez are entrenched as starters. I guess you'd be battling against guys like Tyler Wells, John Means, Dean Kramer, as long as they don't bring in anyone else. I'm not going to ask about the competition. I want to know about the camaraderie of the pitching staff, DL, because it was such a mixture of young guys like you and Kyle and Grayson, and then you had the veterans like John Means and Kyle Gibson mixed in. How did it all go? How did it flow?
Honestly, it was probably one of the coolest and most, chill atmospheres that, you could kind of have around you. I feel like we all kind of had a mixture to where it was like, I don't know, I want to say it was like almost perfect to where, everybody was super comfortable. There wasn't that feeling of like, Gibby did an awesome job, like, being the veteran guy. As far as the pitchers goes, he did an awesome job, like just being a leader for us, but also making us, feel comfortable. And I feel like that's why all the young guys really started to have success, is because, the locker room was super comfortable, and amongst the pitchers, especially, everybody was super comfortable. We all had a good time together, in the bullpen, and it just like kept everything light. We never felt under pressure. So it was, I feel like that's what really got everybody going.
Is that how you felt the last 6 weeks throughout the rest of the year into the playoffs? Is that, hey, there's no need to be nervous. Let's just come out here and let's have fun, play ball. My teammates have confidence in me. Everybody has confidence in me here. Let's just go out there and have a good time.
Yeah. All the guys who, had some, a lot more service time than we did, it was literally the whole clubhouse that, all of the older guys, like they would make sure that we knew, like, hey, like you're a big part of this. Like, we need every single one of us, to do this thing. So like they kept, putting that back into our heads and making sure that we, realized that. So it was huge for us. I mean, we were all super comfortable and just having fun.
We will hear for more of our conversation with Orioles pitcher DL Hall right here on the Adam Jones podcast. But first, let's salute our loyal, dedicated sponsors who've been with us all year.
Hi, guys. Oriole Hall of Famer and ambassador to the Baseball Warehouse, Mike Bordick here. We are honored and excited to help support the Adam Jones podcast. The Baseball Warehouse has 4 locations in Maryland and 2 in Pennsylvania. We specialize in private instruction, camps, showcases, charity events, Badgers baseball, and one-of-a-kind events featuring current Major League players and Hall of Famers. Our instructors have all played collegiately and professionally, many of whom have reached the major leagues. Check out thebaseballwarehouse.com to learn more and check us out on social media. Also, make sure to check out Orioles Hall of Famer Rick Dempsey's Baseball Warehouse opening in Columbia this October. Yeah, it's October 8th from 1 to 5 p.m. I'll be there with many of my former teammates, and I want to see you there.
The Adam Jones podcast is brought to you by Jimmy's Famous Seafood, Charm City's favorite crab cake destination. Local sports fan, experience the ultimate pregame party at the tailgate. Cheer on the Ravens with iconic live performances, an open bar, and mouth-watering eats. Can't make it? No worries. Bring the same food that caught the attention of the Food Network right to your doorstep. Shipping East Coast recipes nationwide. Jimmy's Famous Seafood is the official sponsor of the guests appearing on the Adam Jones podcast. And by our friends at the Weinman Company.
Your fun awaits at Hollywood Casino Perryville. Feed the whole crew with something for everyone, from cheesesteaks to crab cake sandwiches. Plus, ask how you can get a $15 dining credit. Get in on the gaming action with the hottest slots and your favorite table games like blackjack, roulette, and poker. Free live shows every Friday and Saturday. Plus, become a Penn Play member and get up to $250 in rewards. Come experience non-stop fun and excitement only at Hollywood Casino Perryville.
The Adam Jones podcast is brought to you by Effective Solutions, your one-stop shop for commercial contracting. Everything from excavation and site development to emergency remediation and restoration. Effective Solutions specializes in many forms of commercial and mixed-use construction, like leak investigation, framing, trim carpentry, insulation, drywall, painting, wallpaper, flooring, masonry, waterproofing, paving, tree removal, and much more. With a dedicated staff and a commitment to quality, Effective Solutions delivers every time. By G-Leaf Medical Cannabis Only. Visit gleaf.com. Medical cannabis is for qualified Maryland patients only. The Adam Jones Podcast is brought to you by Royal Farms. Download the Royal Farms app from the Apple App Store or Google Play today. New Royal Farms Rewards members will get a free any-size cup of Royal Farms award-winning coffee just for signing up.
Hey, Justin, keep an eye on the time. It's your night to handle dinner.
No worries. Got it covered. It's great getting dinner ready with no worries. That's why I never waste time and go straight to Royal Farms. Their chicken is fresh, never frozen, hand-breaded, and cooked right in the store.
Oh, wow, this smells amazing. I'm so impressed.
Real fresh, real fast, Royal Farms.
By Jack Daniels, 2 legends, 1 can. Jack and Coke, the #1 cocktail in the world, is now available in a can. Yes, that's true. Jack Daniels Tennessee Whiskey, mixed with Coca-Cola or Coca-Cola Zero Sugar, are now both available in a can. 2 legends, 1 can. Jack and Coke, ready to drink? Please drink responsibly. Whiskey Specialty, 7% alcohol by volume. Jack Daniels Tennessee Whiskey, Lynchburg, Tennessee. And a reminder, if you guys are enjoying this podcast, make sure to check out the Baltimore Banner at thebaltimorebanner.com/AJ to get started.
Time to get back to our continuing conversation as cell service is holding on there. It's DL Hall right here on the Adam Jones Podcast.
I want to know, so with the last couple of years, obviously the draft's been going great. Elias has been doing a fantastic job with the getting the guys to the major leagues. How have you, I mean, you're 25 now, you're older than some of these guys. How have you adapted and taken a kind of a big brother role to some of these guys who say got called up at 21, 22, got sent down, the mentality of it. And then now just like, hey, you know, I'm a part of this. I'm a part of this core. I'm a part of this future going forward. How does that make you feel that, you know, roles change no matter what. And you know, and as you get in 25, big brother, and unfortunately starts to come to especially some of the younger guys.
Yeah, no, it's definitely different, you know, because I was 18 drafted, so I was always you know, as long as I was coming up, you know, I was always the youngest, you know, or one of the youngest on the team, like throughout the minor leagues, and so you definitely, you know, start to swap roles, and especially, you know, going down to Florida and rehabbing, like, and seeing last year, and you know, being around all those young guys and you know, all the kids, like. It literally looks like kids, and it's like, wow, I was in those shoes, you know, not too long ago, and now I feel like I'm an old man. So, but no, it's cool to you know, feel that, and like, you know, be able to talk to some of those young kids down there when I was rehabbing, like, and you know, them coming up to me and just asking me, you know, little questions. I thought it was really cool, and how everything really comes full circle.
So there was no change in Gunnar Henderson from the beginning of the year to him winning the Rookie of the Year. You saw no change in Gunnar Henderson at all. I mean, he seemed even keel throughout the season as we witnessed him as a member of the media, DL.
Yeah, he man, he was like, it was one of those things where we all knew, you know, maybe not the outside world, but as far as we go, like, and myself, it was like, we already know, you know, what's going to happen with him. It's just a matter of like him getting comfortable enough and just getting those at bats and settling in. And it was like, we knew it was going to happen because I got to see it at alt site in 20 when he was a 19-year-old. Like, he went from the, you know, one of the easier outs at camp to, by the time we left that alt site, he was probably the toughest hitter there. And he was 19 at that time, or maybe 18. So I already knew he would settle in. It was just a matter of, like I said, getting comfortable and getting those at bats.
Winning the Rookie of the Year, putting the organization even higher on the depth charts. With obviously Rushman, you get to throw to him consistently. McCann, I know you probably got to spend a lot of time with McCann, just going over the mental side of the game. How much does the veterans mean to the young guys? Me as an outfielder, I tried to make sure everybody was comfortable and loose, play as hard as you can. As you know, with the catchers and pitchers, I let O'Day and Wieters and all those guys run that ship. So how has McCann, who was a previous guest, how has he been as a veteran guy to ease you guys' minds as young guys coming into high leverage situations? Because you played every game you were in the big leagues this year. It was a very important pitch that you had to throw.
Yeah, it was No, he was, man, another one that was incredible. Like I said, like there's literally, man, those guys, McCann and Gibson and all that, like they literally all did such a good job. McCann was the one that, he also kept it light. Like they were, I mean, I don't even know what to say. They were literally incredible. They kept us going. They did what they were, they did what you would expect a veteran guy to do. They were, I mean, professional and by the book and kept us light. I mean, I really think that those guys are the reason why we had the success we did, just because of the culture and everything that they installed, in the clubhouse.
DL Hall with us, brought to us by Jimmy's Famous Seafood here on the Adam Jones podcast. Now, DL, I don't know if you even watched the postseason. Do you guys take any solace? I don't know if you talk with teammates and the fact that the team that eliminated you won the World Series or no? I see Adam shaking his head. For those not watching on YouTube.
You lose. It doesn't matter. You lose. It doesn't matter who you lose to. That's my opinion.
To the eventual world champion. I don't know if that's a badge of honor or not.
It's not.
Nah,
right, you don't have to answer the question, DL. But go ahead. All right, go ahead.
Mr. Hall.
But for me personally, it doesn't matter because, it's just either way. Like, I'm ticked off because I feel like we were the better team and we should have been in that position anyways.
We want to know about DL Hall. So you're in your truck right now. Are you out somewhere on site catching dinner for us? Like, what you up to?
So I'm actually in the North Georgia mountains. Came up here just to take the weekend and just kind of relax. Started back training last week, and I was like, you know what, let's go to the mountains for a couple days. Went trout fishing yesterday, and just honestly been relaxing. So it's been amazing.
Now, I got a personal story I want to relay to you, DL. Adam's only heard a portion of this. I tried desperately to get to your locker to try and visit with you and actually have this conversation off the podcast, but we might as well have it on the podcast. I believe I was at either your first or second professional baseball game at the Gulf Coast League down in Sarasota. Happened to go out there when the Orioles were still playing games on those back fields. And in the bleachers were my father and me, and we run into your mother who's watching the game, okay? And we chat with her. And I ask about where your dad is, and he's a couple of rows up behind her watching the game intently. And we are not to disturb your father during the game. But your mother, lovely woman, we had a great conversation about Valdosta, Georgia. And I found out because my parents used to drive their dog from Sarasota to Atlanta. Valdosta is the halfway point if you drive between Sarasota and Atlanta. And the reason they stopped there, and I got to know if you know about this place, was because there was this pet-friendly hotel where they would take our dog Zindy every time to rest and retreat and all that. Is there an infamous pet hotel in Valdosta that I don't know about? Because that seemed to be the big point of emphasis as to why they stopped there.
I have not that I've heard of, but I'm not saying there isn't.
What do you remember about those Gulf Coast League games getting started out there? Because I remember there was no scoreboard. I had no idea what the count was when you were pitching, but I do remember it was a very hot atmosphere.
Yeah, I mean, man, those are some of the roughest days, but now looking back on them, you're like, wow, those were some of the best days. Those are some of the most fun days. Those 12 o'clock starts, I mean, 100-degree weather. Like you said, no scoreboard.
No shade.
Yeah, zero shade. We're sitting in the I'll never forget sitting in that on that metal bench down there in the bullpen that was basically just a metal bench sitting outside of the fence.
What has helped you find your balance? You said you're in the mountains right now. Like, that is unbelievable, but you can't do that during the season. You can't just go for 2 or 3 days. Only Dennis Rodman can do that. So what helps you balance yourself through the season when, it's ups and downs? We know roller coasters. It's a very tough season if you're having success or not. So what balances DL Hall now?
To be honest, I think that I'm a super my girlfriend and I both, like, I just really we really enjoy being like my house that I just built back home. It's actually it's like a barn dominium, whatever. It doesn't have service to it yet because I don't have Wi-Fi, and I absolutely love it. So for me, it's like I enjoy being where there's no cell service and things like that. Like just being you know, I don't even have to be doing anything. Just for me, just having that time with yourself and God, and just relaxing and just kind of, you know, being where the world is kind of shut out for a little while. That's kind of how I like to you know, kind of reset myself.
Hey, DL, thanks for taking the time. We look forward to catching up with you at spring training. Maybe one of these days I'll make it to your locker when you're there. I feel like you were avoiding me on purpose or someone was alerting you. No, I'm just kidding. But best of luck. Good hunting, as they say, during the off season. Stay safe, and we'll see you in February in Sarasota.
Thank you guys for having me, man. I enjoyed it. And sorry about this this service, but it's where I like to be.
Hey, no worries, brother. We appreciate it. Trust me, we appreciate it.
Part of the podcast. We deal with it. Appreciate it. And you know, Adam, DL has shown for 2 consecutive seasons that he can thrive really coming out of the bullpen. But after hearing him talk, obviously the goal is to be a starter, and he'll have that opportunity.
Well, I mean, everybody wants to be a starter. I think that's just his. I mean, that's what you want to do. That's what you set yourself up for. But I think Zach Britton, Tommy Hunter, you can name Mariano Rivera. You want to go with that one? You can name countless guys that have made substantial careers by moving to the bullpen. It depends on what the team needs. He's still young enough to where he can transition back and forth. So I just think he just needs to keep himself ready. And like he said, he's ready for the ball. He don't care. You hand him the ball, you tell him what to do. That's what he's ready for. And I respect that. And I'm glad he's sharp. He's cleaned himself up. His mental is there. He seems like he's ready to go.
And a lefty, a southpaw out of the bullpen is even more
going hard.
Something coveted, you know, by baseball.
Yeah. I mean, it reminds me of Tanner Scott. Like just those hard with a good breaking ball. And again, all you have to do, and you see Tanner Scott went down to Miami. He's had very, very good success being the closer down there. So, you know, you never know. You never know what someone's path is. But I always said this: I don't care how I'm in the major leagues, as long as I'm in the major leagues. I don't give a damn if I was a catcher. I moved position. I wanted to be a shortstop in the major leagues. That was my dreams and aspirations. I wanted to be A-Rod and Jeter. Man, go out there and be Mike Cameron. Okay. Okay. Make your life easy. Go be Mike Cameron. Go be Ellis Burks. I can drop some names. Go be them.
All right, let's move along to our For the Bird segment. It's brought to us by our friends over at the Baseball Warehouse, where you learn baseball the right way from guys like Rick Dempsey and who knows, maybe Adam Jones one of these days. Coming soon to a Baseball Warehouse near you. Got to talk about the Ravens, though, who are hosting the Bengals Thursday night. They got 2 games in 5 days, just like the Bengals. Ravens won the first encounter in Cincinnati. That was back in week 2. But last week against Cleveland, we saw that continuing theme of these fourth quarter collapses. And that has been the theme in all 3 losses for this team this year. Your observation, AJ.
I seen a stat that said the teams with it was like the fewest time behind.
Yeah,
the game.
The Ravens had the lead for more than any team in the NFL.
No, but it's just like in the history of the game. They're third in fewest times behind in the score.
Right.
38 minutes. The only other teams, there's a team that did it 15 minutes and 21 minutes. But all 5 teams are 10-0. The Ravens only won at 73. They're still in first place. I know. I mean, it's just like Harbaugh said. It's, you know, the ending. They had the 3 games that they lost are all ending games. 3 games that they didn't close. I know they know that. There's no need for me to harp on it. But you know, as a fan, you want to see him. You want to see him finish because you know. I was watching the game and I was texting my wife and I was like, "Man, they're 14-3 real quick. Okay, 21. Okay, let's keep going. Get 31-14. I'm like, okay, let me go do something else. And then I look back and I see 31. I see 31-24. Then I see 31-30. How they do that so quick? Like what? Like literally like that. And I'm like, you know, I don't know who's to blame. Obviously, I blame the players because the players have the physical ball. I can't blame the coaches. The coaches just call the play. But, you know, I know the players know that it's unacceptable. And I think that maybe this might be a reverse game to where they score 14-24 in the fourth quarter this time, opposed to during the first. Because they're a great first quarter team, great first half team. The fourth quarter teams generally, they start to catch up to them. So hopefully they fix that and get back nails in the fourth quarter, because no matter what, if you turn the ball over late in the fourth quarter, your defense is going to be exhausted. So you can't say, oh, the defense didn't stop them. Well, if the defense is out, they're already in minute 56 of the game, and the defense had to go 56, then a little bit of plays, a little gas, and then go back out there. Like, no matter who you are, I don't care. It's like the defense for the Broncos, number one defense. Yeah, they had the worst quarterback that year, therefore their defense went to the worst.
They did look gassed in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
I don't know what to attribute that to. One of the picks that Lamar threw was such a fluke, the one that got deflected, that could have gone either way. But there's no arguing that the AFC North is the best division in the NFL. And, this week you got the Ravens and the Bengals, the Browns and Steelers will match up. They're just cannibalizing each other. That's the thing we're seeing, is they're eating their own in the division.
What I'm saying, I looked at the Steelers. They pulled off the win. They're 6-3. You got, the Texans pulled off a big win in Cleveland. In Cincinnati, so that was big. It's a good division, and that's what you want. You always wanted a good division, and obviously people talking about Cleveland's going to be the run of the division. They're a good team too. So, the Ravens could easily be 10-0 right now, but they're 7-3. They're still in the driver's seat. This game tonight is very important, and they need to get after it. They need to score early, often, late, and often, and stop the defense and stop the opposers.
Well, the good news is, under John
Very
Harbaugh,
easy to do.
They are 35-17 all time in primetime games under Harbaugh, and they got a lot of primetime games coming up. They have a couple of Sunday night games, one out in Los Angeles and Jacksonville, a Monday nighter in San Francisco. So they're going to be playing a lot under the lights. And I got to ask you real quickly, Joe Burrow said that he goes to bed during the season at 7 p.m. at night. I find that hard to believe. I know senior citizens, and I'm sorry, Dad, I had to call you out, that stay up till at least 11 o'clock at night. Going to bed at 7 o'clock, how much rest do you need?
Well, the thing is, now, is he asleep or is he resting? There's two different things. Now, if he's resting away from social media, away from his phone, away from technology, maybe
like
just watching TV. Maybe just watching TV, decompressing. Maybe the 7 o'clock is just cut off for that. Sleep at 7, that's hard to buy. That's dinner time. But again, he's a high-end athlete. So who's to say what he does? Like, these athletes do anything and everything. So, like we talked with Nelson Cruz, how did he play till 207? Is because of the things that he does. So who's to say what he does and doesn't do? 7 o'clock sleep? Yeah. I don't buy that. 7 o'clock decompress from the world. I definitely can buy that.
Yeah, if he's going to bed at 7 p.m., he might want to move to Boca Raton, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, dinner's at 5, in bed by 6:30. Hey, that's great.
Went to a deli there once that closed at 7 p.m. They were kicking people out at 7. All right, we must move on for time purposes. And time now for some Socially Speaking, and this is where we answer a tweet or social media post. You can find us on social media, whether it be the Gram, the X, or Facebook, at Adam Jones Pod, or rate the podcast. We got a lot of great ratings over the weekend, and give us 5 stars. That qualifies you for a Dunkin' gift card. So, Adam, you tossed out a question about parents and coaching, asking, all right, parents, y'all can chime in. Is it overkill, or are y'all having fun also? Or is this for your kids? Keep them active. There's no wrong answers. I want to know what the impetus, what inspired you to put this out. Was it something you witnessed?
No. Did you see the question that Travis Snyder?
I did. Travis Snyder had it originally, so you followed off that. Okay. I didn't know.
So read his tweet. Yeah, it's like 6 to 8 year olds. Like, parents are doing all this crazy stuff for travel ball and all this, and so my question is, as my kids are in that age, what's overkill? Is your kid? Do you think your kid is going to be the next Mookie Betts, Mike Trout, Ohtani at 8 years old? Do you think spending crazy amount of thousands of dollars on travel ball, uniforms, travel, gas, do you think that's really beneficial for an 8, 9, 10-year-old? Like, these are just questions that I have, honestly, for myself too, because I got friends, tons of friends that are. I was in San Diego, and my nephew drove. His parents had to drive an hour and 15 minutes for him to play a game. He's 12 and under. Hour and 15 minutes. And when we got there, and I was watching the game with my boy and his wife, and my godson, he's my godson, not nephew. He walked twice, and my boy's like, "Hey man, I ain't drive all this way to see you walk. You better swing that bat." So next at bat 3-0, he's swinging that stuff all in. But it's like, what's the happy median? You drove all the way out there, and you spent a lot of money in these hotels and the road, food. Like there's a big culmination of all these fees. And my thing is that for a 7 or 8 year old, 9 and 10, is it worth it? Do you believe that you're really investing in his future? Or do you believe that you're either trying to get him out the house, keep him active? That's why I said no wrong answers. Again, I've seen parents at the game the other day yelling at their kids, and me as a major league player, I'm just sitting there like this. You don't know what the hell you talking about, but I'm not gonna say nothing because why? Why start the argument with the dad in the baseball pants shorts? So I just want to know the happy median, and even if there is one, that's why I put it out. And tons of people commented on it. Tons of Means' wife.
Yeah,
tons of people out everywhere.
Let me read some of the responses. One I think is apropos, and we'll get to a couple of them. At Real Ryan Trees writes, and I think it's fine if that's what you want to do. But the bigger problem is the rec sports leagues are dying. If I want my kid to just learn the game, get a T-shirt, hat, play ball, it shouldn't be that hard to find a team to enroll in. And I agree, it should be more open.
Oh yeah, well, rec centers are a dying breed. I grew up at Jackie Robinson YMCA. I grew up at Willie Henderson Park Recreation Center. Those are a dying breed, unfortunately. It's city funding, and as time went on, that's why one of my big missions in Baltimore was to do things that the city funding didn't do, and it's just tough, man. Because when you got the Rex again, I used to go up there. You get your shirt, you get your hat, you get your free lunch. Yep. Yeah, you get snacks, like all that stuff during the summer because just the kids in the neighborhood just simply can't afford it. Their parents are working, so that was the summer, and the Boys and Girls Club was a safe haven in the rec centers, safe havens. They don't have them no more, so now you got more kids on the street, more kids on the stoop. I can tell you what happens when you got all that. When you got kids doing nothing, bad things tend to happen. So that's what I'm trying to understand is, are these parents spending thousands of dollars thinking their kid is going to make it, or are they doing it to make sure that they're installing something in their kid, desire to be hungry for something, to travel? Like there's a culmination of a lot of it. Like I'm sure when my kids start playing travel ball, it's going to be fun for us too because road trips, stay in hotels. How we like to travel, we like to find food places, yep. But also we have the means to where it's not like we got to think about like, damn, you can't make this trip, but you can make the next trip. So that's why I want to know: are parents going broke by doing it? Are parents like leveraging themselves to be able to give their kids these things? Like I know people do it for college, but are you doing it for a 10-year-old?
Right. You need to save up for college. That's first and foremost. Yeah. Here's another response we got from Robert Turning at rturning on Twitter. He wrote that his kids are 8 and 10, and they would rather stare at a screen and play video games. And he's trying to find a happy medium. Yeah. That's a problem we didn't have growing up.
No, I mean, we used to go outside, kids. Go outside. Don't come back, until the light came on. Like Correct. Street light. Literally.
Or dinner's ready, yeah.
Exactly. You could smell dinner. You could hear somebody's mama calling them to where your mama probably is in that chime too. And same with my kids. They love the screen. They love the PS5. They love Fortnite, Roblox. I think that is a safe haven for kids. But at the same time, go outside. But what going outside means you got to go outside. Out here in Barcelona, it's as they go outside. Well, I have to take them to the park. In the States, with places we live in, go outside. Okay, you can go play outside. You can go swimming. You can go do things outside by yourself. But it's just, are you getting your kids outside the wrong way, the right way? I mean, that's why I asked the question because, there's people that have been parenting a lot longer than me and a lot different than me. So, to get different people's perspective, a lot of people will chime in. They ain't even got kids. You know what I mean? So they just want to chime into the post. But I just want to get the happy median of it because I know I'm going to enter it and I see other people doing it. And it's going to be hard for me to say, I'm going to pay $2,500 for a tournament for a 10-year-old. And Agreed. Well, that's now 16 and Perfect Game is there and Baseball America and some scouts. 5,000.
Yeah.
I got you.
You're
But
a little older and more mature.
yeah,
Absolutely.
if you're getting Uncrustables after the game, no.
All right, the last comes from a major leaguer's wife, and Caroline means, and she said her experience started at 7. Those became her best friends, the people that she played with, traveling, running around hotels, winning, etc. It was all fun for me. Parents ask every year if I was still in the sports teach life lessons, but life lessons can be free as well. These teams are getting paid for no reason.
Oh man, these AAU teams are making hand over fist. And you know what? Another comment was by someone was that teach the parents. And it's like, you have practice once or twice a week. In high school, it's once or twice a week practice. No matter what you do, you twice a week practice. The better players obviously practice on their own and get better by themselves. But how do you do that? It's hard as a 6 to 10 year old, just even 12-year-old, to know what to do to get better by yourself. You get older, you know what to do. So one of them said that she would teach the softball parents of drills and things that they can do with their kids, to where when no one's looking, you can go work with your kid, and you can actually get some knowledge and know what you're doing instead of throwing the ball with 2 flat feet. Because I see parents don't know what they're doing, man. Like we're just Diamondbacks. The guy, he worked for the Diamondbacks in the front office, like director of something, do up the first pitch. He never picked up a baseball a day in his life. How you do like that? What? Everybody needs to know how to throw a baseball. And I think by teaching the parents, it's cool. And also challenging these coaches to be like, seriously, what the hell are these fees? Because a lot of these coaches now, they take time off. Like, not time off. This is their full-time job. And they run some good programs. I get it. But at the same time, I just think that it's definitely taking advantage of the parents and the kids, and be like, hey, you need to practice here. You need to pay $250 a week or $1,000 a month or whatever for an 8-year-old to play on my team. I got a finger for you, and it ain't the index.
Well, you bring up a good point. There should be a seminar solely for the parents on conduct and how to handle your kids accordingly. I agree. Some great responses. Thank you all, and we'll be showing our Dunkin' and Iron Rooster gift card winners coming up next week. We also, speaking of those two places, want to give some love to our loyal, dedicated sponsors. Go out and support these fine folks.
Hi guys, Oriole Hall of Famer and ambassador to the Baseball Warehouse, Mike Bordick here. We are honored and excited to help support the Adam Jones podcast. The Baseball Warehouse has 4 locations in Maryland and 2 in Pennsylvania. We specialize in private instruction, camps, showcases, charity events, Badgers baseball, and one-of-a-kind events featuring current Major League players and Hall of Famers. Our instructors have all played collegiately and professionally, many of whom have reached the major leagues. Check out thebaseballwarehouse.com to learn more, and check us out on social media. Also, make sure to check out Orioles Hall of Famer Rick Dempsey's Baseball Warehouse opening in Columbia this October. Yeah, it's October 8th from 1 to 5 p.m. I'll be there with many of my former teammates, and I want to see you there.
The Adam Jones Podcast is brought to you by Jimmy's Famous Seafood, Charm City's favorite crab cake destination. Local sports fan, experience the ultimate pregame party at the tailgate. Cheer on the Ravens with iconic live performances, an open bar, and mouth-watering eats. Can't make it? No worries. Bring the same food that caught the attention of the Food Network right to your doorstep. Shipping East Coast recipes nationwide. Jimmy's Famous Seafood is the official sponsor of the guests appearing on the Adam Jones Podcast. And by our friends at the Weinman Company.
Your fun awaits at Hollywood Casino Perryville. Feed the whole crew with something for everyone, from cheesesteaks to crab cake sandwiches. Plus, ask how you can get a $15 dining credit. Get in on the gaming action with the hottest slots and your favorite table games like blackjack, roulette, and poker. Free live shows every Friday and Saturday. Plus, become a Penn Play member and get up to $250 in rewards. Come experience non-stop fun and excitement only at Hollywood Casino Perryville.
The Adam Jones Podcast is brought to you by Effective Solutions, your one-stop shop for commercial contracting. Everything from excavation and site development to emergency remediation and restoration. Effective Solutions specializes in many forms of commercial and mixed-use construction, like leak investigation, framing, trim carpentry, insulation, drywall, painting, wallpaper, flooring, masonry, waterproofing, paving, tree removal, and much more. With a dedicated staff and a commitment to quality, Effective Solutions delivers every time. By G-Leaf Medical cannabis only. Visit gleaf.com. Medical cannabis is for qualified Maryland patients only. The Adam Jones Podcast is brought to you by Royal Farms. Download the Royal Farms app from the Apple App Store or Google Play today. New Royal Farms Rewards members will get a free any-size cup of Royal Farms award-winning coffee just for signing up.
Hey, Justin, keep an eye on the time. It's your night to handle dinner.
No worries. Got it covered. It's great getting dinner ready with no worries. That's why I never waste time and go straight to Royal Farms. Their chicken is fresh, never frozen, hand-breaded, and cooked right in the store.
Oh, wow, this smells amazing. I'm so impressed.
Real fresh, real fast. Royal Farms.
By Jack Daniels, 2 legends, 1 can. Jack and Coke, the #1 cocktail in the world, is now available in a can. Yes, that's true. Jack Daniels Tennessee Whiskey, mixed with Coca-Cola or Coca-Cola Zero Sugar, are now both available in a can. 2 legends, 1 can. Jack and Coke, ready to drink? Please drink responsibly. Whiskey Specialty, 7% alcohol by volume. Jack Daniels Tennessee Whiskey, Lynchburg, Tennessee. And a reminder, if you guys are enjoying this podcast, make sure to check out the Baltimore Banner at thebaltimorebanner.com/AJ to get started.
Much gratitude to senior executive producer Chip Franklin for putting this episode together. Chip's a Renaissance man. He knows a little about almost everything, or just a little bit altogether. Hey, go out and subscribe to the Baltimore Banner, folks. I write my own material every week. Until next time, be kind, be real, and make sure to be back for another edition of the Adam Jones Podcast as we wind down Season 2.